What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. Today we've got a deck on the channel that has, well, it's been on the channel before, but it is new to being played by me on the channel. Flood is you could probably tell already, especially by New Beginning being the card I'm hovering over. It's a Flood deck. I did a deck check on it for Rob Smith. I think that was the first deck check I did. But I haven't actually played it on the channel, and I don't know if I've played against it on the channel yet, to be honest. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments. You probably know better than I do at this point. Um, but this deck is going to be a little bit different than what we did in the deck check. I mean, the offense is much the same, I guess. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to change with the offense because you've got only 8 flood survivors, so you're pretty much kind of stuck to that if you want like the unity for a New Beginning. But there are a few meta things that are added in because, well, I mean, we live in a combo meta at the moment with Love at First Sight and all that jazz, so we got to kind of account for that. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to take the deck out against Tyler after he said this,
I do think there's multiple good Genesis decks, but Flood isn't one of them.
which I don't know that he's necessarily wrong. I mean, I was a little bit at that point more suspicious of whether Flood was actually top tier or not, but now that I've played with it a little bit, I'm kind of like, oh, I feel like this is pretty good. It's got some pretty good potential against Love at First Sight, which we'll kind of talk about later on. Um, but I don't know. I mean, he was just kind of saying that it wasn't like one of the top 4 or 5 decks, which are probably like Love at First Sight, a couple of variants of Throne, maybe Daniel could be kind of in there. Post exilic, I would argue is in there anyway. At least that's the one I like. So, um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the other Genesis decks he was talking about was kind of like the offense that he was using in that video, which I mean, it was pretty good. It was really, if anything, the defense that would kind of needed some work in his deck to kind of make it a little bit more balanced or kind of able to hold off a Throne offense. Um, and he was probably also talking about the Love at First Sight deck, which is, I mean, I guess probably technically a Genesis deck, or most of it is Genesis, even though, or that's just kind of what I'm assuming, even though neither of us at that point knew that the other person knew, I don't think. Um, so, yeah, I think that this is going to be a decent wrap up to the um, top tier series that I was doing. That kind of had some combo decks splashed in there that kind of interrupted, which I mean I guess they're kind of top tier at this point anyway. So um, that was probably a reasonable interruption. And then this is just going to be kind of the conclusion, which is maybe top tier. I think it's definitely close. Maybe definitely tier A, if not tier S, if you know your tiered lists. I don't know. I don't really know how all that necessarily works. I just know that S is good and then it's alphabetical after that. Um, let's go ahead and talk about the deck a little bit. As we can see with the Lost Souls, it's pretty standard as far as like the acceleration Lost Souls. Wake getting things set up, making sure that oh, I mean, I guess Awake isn't like super standard up until like now when you kind of need it if you want to have a chance at um, I guess if you want to like increase your odds at being able to go first, because that's pretty important now with Love at First Sight being a big deal. But we have Exiles, Lawless, which also kind of helps that, and Prosperity, which can help with that to some degree as well. And then we have some kind of more meta Lost Souls. Wicked was kind of I mean, that's kind of been a meta Lost Soul for a little while now, with Throne kind of being on the prowl and Isaiah making kings prevented cannot be negated. But Forsaken and Accusers have kind of both been like sleeper Lost Souls that are pretty good in the meta, regardless. But now with Love at First Sight, they're you know even better. I mean, they shut down the combo pretty well as long as your opponent doesn't draw like Enosh or something and they're draw 8. Well, or they like can't search for him or something, a way to negate your neutral cards. Because negating opponent's band abilities shuts down some of their hero banding and also creation of the world banding and all the heroes, I believe. Pretty sure that's considered a banned ability. I don't see why it wouldn't be. And then Accusers just negating OT humans in battle straight up takes care of all their hero abilities. So you don't have to worry about Jacob searching for creation or um, Jared being able to grab Love at First Sight from reserve and ban David, or Adam searching for David, all that silly stuff. If you haven't seen anything about the Love at First Sight combo yet, well, you're probably either live in a hole or you're watching this video far enough in the future that it doesn't matter anymore. So you can go back to last week's video if you want to find out what that's all about. Um, but yeah, Accusers actually works pretty well with the Flood offense because Noah's wife is territory class and grants CBP to all of our, well, all of everyone's blue Genesis 6 through 10 cards. Genesis 6 through 10? No. So yeah, all of your heroes will be able to work as soon as they go into battle, or the territory class ones, all the wives that are territory class will still work when you put them into play, which I guess they wouldn't be negated by accusers anyway if you're just putting them in territory. But once they go into battle, then they work, and it actually, depending on the build of Flood you wanted to do, if you can use like Covenant with Death to kind of shut down your opponent's deck anyway. I mean that might be an even better version in the current meta, as having a turbo Covenant with Death first turn kind of setup, but would kind of have to adjust the defense slightly. Even the defense that I have in here is a little non-synergistic with Accuser's Law Soul because it kind of puts the um, hindrance on King Resin, I guess, because even though the banding cannot be negated, the putting Damascus into play can be negated in that part of his special ability. So you don't get to play Damascus, which means you're not going to be able to search for Captain of the Chariots. So if you already have Captain of the Chariots, then it doesn't really matter for the defense. But the kind of getting it early on and then having King Resin or having Deceiver and wanting to go to King Resin is going to feel a little bit bad. If you haven't seen it yet, I guess the trick is to go to King Resin. You play Damascus from your reserve, which lets you grab a Gray Syrian or Pharisee from your deck or discard pile, so you grab Captain of the Chariots. King Resin can then ban 2 Captain of the Chariots, who then can equip Naaman's Chariot and Horses to King Resin to draw 2, play the next enhancement, which can either be like unsuccessful or it can be scattered. Basically just something they can't stop is the most ideal. And then if you play Scattered, you get to draw another 2 from Captain of the Chariots. If you play Unsuccessful, then you end the battle, so you don't actually get to draw the 2 from Captain of the Chariots, which, a little bit of a downside, but we take battle wins over 2 cards most days. And there's also the trick with Gomer banned into these duders to play Naaman's Chariot and Horses. You get to draw 2, you play all the curses, capture all heroes in battle to a player, and it cannot be negated because King Resin is in battle, and he, says banned abilities cannot be negated. So that's a pretty cool combo that I like with this version of the defense. The deck, actually, I should mention, the deck list was sent to me by Jay after Tyler made that comment, and I was like, all right, we gotta beat him with it. So I'm not a huge Flood player. Like I kind of am now because I really like this deck, but I don't play it very often, or I hadn't played it much before talking to Jay. So I got in touch with Jay. I was like, oh hey, what Flood list are you running right now? He sent me a list with like kind of a more animal, like lion defense, because he was kind of testing out Pride of Lions. Decided that was kind of meh. If we wanted it to be like top tier competitive, maybe there's something there. Maybe there will be some more there once GOC comes out or something. I don't know. I can't really say for sure on that, but I think that there will be something for uh, the animal theme, hopefully to kind of get buffed a little bit. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so Jay was like, yeah, here's this list, and and I was like, all right, sweet, let's play a game. I played this against a throne deck that he was using, and he kind of gave me some, tips and tricks along the way. I was like, actually, I would play this that way, or I would maybe not have done that, or did this instead. Basically, he just took me to flood school. I learned some flooding. I actually won that game, and then I was like, all right, I'm set. But I did change up the deck a little bit, the defense, and kind of um, consulted him a little bit on that regard. Um, but the offense is mostly untouched. I mean, I think, was there anything that I cut from that list? I don't know. I think the minimalism of the offense is kind of what I like about Flood, is like you don't really need a whole lot of heroes. You just need a way to get Noah out early, and then the rest of it just kind of falls into play. Because of Noah, you can just get out whoever you need, and then you start cycling through the deck with Japheth, and you've got the add to battle with Japheth's wife, and you've got look at your opponent's hand with Ham's wife. You've got Soul Gen with Shem's wife. So lots of support. Like the whole team is pretty much doing something for every battle, depending on where you're going. Like usually it's either Noah to Shem to Japheth, or it's Ham, and then you're just playing like the rainbow to kind of get like a Samuel's Edict kind of thing. And it's almost like you're playing it on Gideon too, because let's see, who is it? Ham's wife protects you prevent evil characters and protect Ham from the first evil enhancement opponent plays each battle. So you've got a 2/3 super Ham with the rainbow to back it up, and then if you time it right, you can get it back with Noah's Ark, and you just kind of close off a game that way. And I think that, I mean, a lot of what gives Flood its power is just kind of its like sustainability, or its ability to just keep on flooding your opponent basically with options, or it can outlast your opponent usually. So the smaller size of the offense does leave you kind of a decent sized defense. I should maybe makes it a little more clear when I put these over here as well. There is a decent chunk to the defense, and like you can see that the reserve is, I guess, technically a majority defense, because you've got Behemoth, which is mostly defensive, Damascus, which is defensive, and then these four guys here. Um, so yeah, there's definitely a lot to. Um, I think there's like some skill to playing Flood, but I mean the basic concepts are pretty easy. You just kind of keep on pushing in, and hopefully you can keep blocking, and you can just play a new beginning at the right time and win. Sort of. I don't know. The timing on a new beginning is not an exact science, but it's something that I'm just kind of like, I'm pretty sure now is a good time to play it. Like, hopefully, I mean, I think the right time is kind of like once you're both set up, as long as you're not like too far ahead, then you just play it, because odds are you'll be able to set up faster than your opponent. Maybe. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of the way to play it. So the trick is getting Noah right away, and also getting the Ark right away. So how many ways do we have to do each of those? I think let's start with the Ark. You've got 2x2. Search for the Ark or 7 Years of Plenty, or you can grab your animals if you already have your Ark. You can, I say no. You can grab your Ark or your storehouse. If you already have those, you can grab your animals. You also have 7 Years of Plenty, which can grab Ark or Storehouse. You've got Pitch and Gopher Wood, which can grab Ark or just Ark. And you've got Delivered, which can activate Pitch and Gopher Wood. And I think that's... Oh yeah, you've got Faith of Noah as well, which you can grab with Faith. And you've got Offering Your Son, which can search for Pitch and Gopher Wood. So you've got lots and lots of options there. To get Noah is... There's not quite as much, and like without running Remnant in this deck, you may have noticed that there was no Remnant in the Lost Soul slots over here. Um, you're not running Angel of the Winds in reserve. That was something that I don't know, maybe could be changed up, like maybe depending on how often you think Wicked is worth it, then maybe Wicked or maybe Remnant is used in that slot instead, or maybe even Prosperity. Um, but yeah, I think like having Angel of the Winds to go to Noah is kind of nice, especially because he's a cloud hero, so he negates evil characters. But otherwise, we've got Faith. I can search for Noah. We've got Offering Your Son, which goes to Book, which goes to Covenant with Noah in reserve, and then obviously Exiles can grab that as well. And we've got Delivered, Book of the Covenant, and so there is some overlap with the tutors to get to Noah and his arc. Noah and his arc here. There we go. Just because the artifacts help with that. Um, the Rainbow, probably don't use that to top deck Covenant with Noah. That that feels pretty bad. You want to play this card as a good enhancement. I don't think it's ever been used as an artifact. Maybe, I don't know. Um, and then let's see, kind of just talking about the meta right now before we get into the game, because of the Love at First Sight combo. I mean, even before that, I think Amos and Moses were both good fits in this deck. Amos was, probably would make more sense as like Terra or Nahor, because he's pretty much just in there for the star ability of play Lost Soul from a deck, which can help you go first. Um, and same thing with Moses, but actually once Delivered was, we found a spot for Delivered in here. There aren't too many heroes who can play it, so having increasing your odds with both Amos and Moses, I think, is better. So basically, we've just got Foreign Wives, Noah, Amos, and Moses. So it is a little bit tricky, I guess, to make sure that you always have someone for Delivered. I mean, I guess technically Necromancer can play it as well, but if you're playing Delivered at the point in the game where you have Necromancer out, then you're probably not. I mean, you're either too far behind or you're not. You've already got a different hero you can or character you can play it on. um, but yeah, I mean, you're in the colors where putting in Nahor and Terra could also work if you're just trying to really increase your odds. Not only do they help you get more Lost Souls out, but they can tutor out, your Forsaken or your Accusers, and help to at least like buy you a turn to start getting set up and empty your hand or whatever. Maybe get a storehouse out because you've got all these fancy Genesis Fortress tutors. So just kind of putting obstacles in the way of your opponent. And Flood has the like hands down best recovery potential. Well, best recovery card. Maybe not potential because you have to draw this specific card and one of your 8 Flood survivors. But a New Beginning, if your opponent does pull off Love at First Sight and you have no hand and nothing ever, you can draw a New Beginning and a Flood survivor in your draw 3. I've done it before, so it's possible. And if you get that, then you'll most likely win the game. It might take a while depending on how well your opponent recovers after that, or like if they are able to get something, but they really don't have that many battle winners, so as long as you can get set up quickly, you'll probably win. Yeah, I mean, like Leviathan is pretty much the only blocker you need at that point, hopefully. I mean, let's see, other things to note before we get into the game. I think Lacking Prophecy could maybe be something else. I mean, Flood is it is kind of nice in that it's a way to reset some of your non-Flood survivors. So if you're Amos and Moses, you have to put them down or one of them down to use Delivered, then you can shuffle them back in to get your Flood survivor unity back. But I don't know, you're not really going to be like taking it out during battle, and if your opponent knows you have it, then it's not very good. You already have all the curses in deck, and you already have unsuccessful, so maybe this is just Covenant with Death. I don't know. You could do that if you want to switch up the defense a little bit. Maybe take Proud Pharisee out and put somebody else in. That that's a yeah, that might be decent. Or like Flying Scroll or something like that. Or maybe just another like counter to the uh, Love at First Sight combo, which this is kind of a counter to the versions of it that play awesome things to play Love at First Sight. So, and then also Oath of Purity is another way to reset your non-flood survivors here, put them bounce them back into your hand, and it's also really cool with the way that the territory class ladies here work. Um, you get other triggers from Noah's wife to negate an evil card or discard an evil enhancement, which she continues to negate all of the ones that she's targeted while she remains in play. So it's, I mean, kind of cool that way. She's got like, I'll negate you, and she just keeps on doing it. It's not like Three Woes where like once you make one target, then you go to the next one. Like yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not like a for one round or that sort of thing. But you can bounce evil cards, maybe like bounce their only evil character to disrupt their shield unity. You can look at their hand, and you can shuffle a deck. That one's maybe not the most useful of them, but maybe they just top decked something on their turn that they're going to want to draw into, and you can just shuffle their deck. I don't know. Oath of Purity, really cool card. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Yeah, that's the deck. Let's go hop into the game. Alright, let's do it.
I got stars.
I have no stars.
Right. Nice. I'm gonna look at your deck and your hand. Set that backwards.
Wow.
Quest
So this is what we're doing, huh?
It's not exactly what you think.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I mean, the offense is exactly what you think.
Right.
Okay, Jay. I don't even need to look at your deck. Revealed. Oh, deck.
I had to do it for Jay because you trashed on him last time you were on the channel. So.
Hey, top tier. Interesting. Okay. Reveal to all none. Hand reveal to all none. I'll shuffle up for you. Okay. And then
Thanks.
I'm gonna go back
Wait.
to.
Don't shuffle my hand.
Huh?
I still want to see that.
Oh. Jeez. Now my hand. Where's my hand? There we go. I'm sorry. All right. So I saw what you were working with. All right, you're good on souls.
All right. And do exiles. We're gonna grab. Let's grab Covenant with Noah. And prosperity. I think I'm okay. Just yeah. I mean, I gotta do something. I feel like I can let him go. Maybe
That prosperity first turn. I know people love it. Tough first turn sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard to know, what you need if you don't know who you're playing yet, or like what you're playing against.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those souls that can get you to more souls, so it might be
True.
We'll probably see it a lot at nationals, I would think.
That, Lawless, Hunter, Awake, Exiles, Remnant. That's pretty much going to be your main 5 right there.
Yep. And pigs.
And buy the Nembrus Soul.
Yep.
All
I
right.
mean, I think the Blind Lost Soul is actually decent.
Mm,
The Blind Lost Soul.
can I grab my evil character
Oh yeah, go for
from
it.
Darkness? The only thing is you just need to know what I play right away.
Ooh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Canaanite Giants, huh? Or Philistine, just Giants, right?
That's all I play. All
Yeah.
right. Your call.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go first here. Seems like the right
Let's
play.
move.
So let's put down Storehouse. Put down the Ark. We'll activate the book. Go grab your remain. And we'll activate. Well, and we'll activate your remain. We'll put down Noah because drew him off of Prosperity. I'll play Faith Among Corruption. 7 Years of Plenty. I think I've already got my fortresses. Do I have any other ones in here? Nope.
Say that power of that deck comes from a consistent setup.
Yep.
Every time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it helps that I had Noah's Ark in my opening hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. How do I get around Goliath here? Oh, that would have been smart. I should have used Noah to exchange my storehouse with the flood survivors and then played 7 Years of Plenty after battle. Grab a storehouse.
200 IQ play. Yep.
Guess I don't really. Oh yeah, I do need them in territory. Otherwise, storehouse is gonna make Goliath an auto block. Alright, yeah, let's just do storehouse. We've got other searches.
Whenever you're done.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter who you get, so maybe I'm blocking with that either way.
Sure. I think we want her and I think Japheth. And Japheth will come into battle. Look at my top 3. Take one to hand, underdeck the rest. I'll take that one. And I'll get kicked out. Oh wait, I guess I gotta look at your hand with Ham's wife here.
You may exchange a card in hand. when you attacked, how'd you put her down?
Exchange, or I did it with storehouse. It was hand or territory. So I exchanged my storehouse with
Oh,
2 flood survivors.
okay, yeah, from territory.
Yep.
You're good either way.
Yeah, cool. Well, no green or white heroes. That's a good sign to start
Yeah.
here. But you still got your draw 3, so we'll see if that lasts. Alright. These guys will get booted. Oops.
I removed that from the game. This was a Type 2 deck.
Oh, you had Eyes to See in the reserve too.
Yeah.
Oops.
Be fair, I edited in a matter of minutes.
Right. Yeah. I think I'm going to not
Hope that's
present.
Yeah. All right.
And that will be my turn. That's not what I wanted to see.
Are you seeing that played in Type 1?
Shield?
Shield? Yeah.
I haven't played it in a lot of my Type 1 decks lately,
Me neither.
but I've still seen it around, I guess, in like some of the online tournaments and stuff. I think it's still good, but I just think there's
Yeah.
a lot of ways to play around it, especially with Joshua and like
There are.
Abigail, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. This is more of a defensive deck. That's why I threw it in there.
Right.
That's just something else to get rid of. But yeah, I thought the same thing. Goliath works well with you getting rid of your own storehouse because I'm gonna pop this guy out. I don't remember what my biggest flaw in Redemption is looking at someone's hand and not knowing it afterwards. So let's see. Your protection's gone. So I'm gonna go into your deck.
Yeah.
That'll work. Probably gonna be scattered. Oh, you have a plot. That's always fun.
It's almost Jay's version.
Deck. We go to all none. Deck. Shuffle. Back to mine.
What are the odds that you drew an enhancement? That's the question. Yeah, let's go. Ugh. And that feels bad though. I mean, we're definitely blocking with this guy. I'm just trying to decide what I want to play. Yeah, I think we're just gonna play Lurking, and we'll ban to Behemoth and negate Gabriel.
Very nice.
And hope that one of the 2 other cards you drew was not Faith Unbowed.
Yep.
Alright, sweet.
Alright, your go. There was a few things I could have drawn into. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, any If you're, well, I guess it would have just been Daniel like playing Eyes to See at that point. It wouldn't have been all that great. I'm not gonna do that. All right, so Lawless. I'll do it on myself. Oh, that's my hand. I want deck. Reveal to owner, or reveal to all. Accusers goes into play. A little bit awkward. And we'll take Chronicles. And upkeep. Draw one off 7 years. Draw one off of book. Okay, yeah, so we gotta... Oh, that actually works out kinda well. Let's let down Shem's wife and we'll bounce your Goliath. And we'll activate Covenant with Noah.
There you go.
Go get that Noah's wife. I suppose I'll use book to grab Oath of Purity. Put down Noah's wife. Put down Shem. And we're gonna go out with Noah. We'll shuffle my Proud Pharisee, or exchange my Proud Pharisee with Japheth's wife, and she's the last one, yeah.
Okay.
We'll ban to Shem, ban to Japheth, and look at my top 8. And we'll take this one.
So you can bounce me.
So, yeah, realize the silly thing about the new Shem is that he's in Genesis 5, so Noah's wife does not give him CBP. Otherwise, he'd totally be in this deck.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I guess I never really cared to look.
Yeah, I mean, I think I told Jay, or like I realized that, and I had like told Jay about it. He was like, "Oh, I definitely been playing that wrong." I was like, "Yeah, it feels pretty bad." KOT. So that was one of the other
Oh, I think I actually do have. Yeah.
cards you drew.
You may take a Canaanite from reserve. Did I throw one in here? Yeah. Okay.
Cute.
And if you do, I can give it to you, and I can draw one. I don't see anything that stops me from doing that.
Nope.
All right, here, Nish.
Alright, let's just go that way. I'll negate and discard him.
Dang, there's 3.
What's that?
I think that'll do it. No.
Oh, right. Oh, I should have only looked at my top 7. That's right. Forgot that Ham was no longer with us.
No,
Um,
IP.
the card I took was not the last one though. So
That's fine.
I'll put down an artifact there, and yeah, I think that'll be it.
Storehouse, upkeep.
So you said this was a Type 2 version. That wasn't the Type 2 version that you ran at regionals, though, right? So I thought you were running like a brown.
Yeah, I was running Babs and they suck.
What's that?
I was running Babs. They sucked. I couldn't block. I mean, I couldn't block judges. I mean, I don't. This thing doesn't block judges. Philistines historically don't block judges well.
Right.
I just love playing black in general.
Sure.
So this was just a different take. Let's grab.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I noticed with like my Type 1 Babylonians version was like, I had like, you have enhancements, but they're just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can draw them all you want, but it doesn't matter if you have 16 cards in your hand, you can't block.
Right.
You pretty much have Nevi's Prides. That's about it. So
Yeah.
there's a few gadgets you can do with great images, with high battle stuff, but it's just not. No, it doesn't work well.
Right.
Let's see if you have anything stopping from searching. We are going to whiff on that because you didn't make this deck right. Oh well.
So Meshach is your top card, or
Jeshua was.
oh, I see. Yeah.
Let's see, and you have a scattered in your hand. I think you have. We'll see. Now I have a green guy.
A green guy and an OT Prophet at that.
Oh, first foretelling pops again. What the? Did I not just shuffle that? Okay, that goes back on deck. Priest of Zeus. And I'm not gonna go crazy on the whole Eyes to See in Type 1. Not for this. I'll just run a couple times when needed. Go through and grab a star. Just for simplicity's sake.
People have already seen it on my channel, and if you don't know what he's doing here, you can go check out that video. Where it's we're actually doing it with physical cards, so it's a lot easier than trying to do it with Lackey.
Yep. Oh, that's the wrong Outsiders.
Oh, I suppose
that's the black one. That's me throwing it in last second. That's the black one though. Don't worry about that. Let's see. That goes to hand. Behemoth Road is in reserve. Black Outsiders is obviously on the top of my deck. Yeah, Jeshua is supposed to be in the reserve for that.
Right.
He's in my Type 2 version. He's in both one and both sides. But all right, well, we're gonna make this work either way. Let's see. Probably gonna do him to him, to him, and you have scattered. But let's see. I'm gonna draw one, prevent the next enhancement. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a note on that.
Oh, sure.
Okay. That's my attack.
Alright. Negating evil characters. Oh, actually,
That's such a strong band.
Meshach is negated by accusers. So you'd have
Okay,
to
that's him into battle.
do something else with that, or there. I mean, you can make a different attack if you want. This isn't a, this isn't a tournament
I
game.
mean, I would just flip it to that would be it. It would be that to that, and that goes on top of deck again.
Sure. Okay. All right. So, I mean, I guess you're not preventing the next enhancement, which is, kind of nice. But you're still protected, so I guess we just go Deceiver. And I gotta remember what all we got in here. It's negated. Alright. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's do this guy. I think we're just gonna reveal your hand while we have the chance here.
I got storehouse.
Daniel's nice enough to negate it for me, though.
Oh yeah. Daniel's negating it. That's the beauty of going Daniel to Gabriel.
True, yeah. No doubt. Nice. Seized, overrun, overwhelmed. Yeah. 3 brigades. 3 good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. And we'll draw 3. Alright, -2. Minus. Oh, I think I just lost your audio.
Check. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. That's weird.
Still good?
Alright, yep.
All right, yeah, you're Nish.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll just play that one.
Dude. All right. Your turn.
Okay. Upkeep, let's draw with 7 years. And we'll draw with book. Playing Speed Flood. Let's put Storehouse back down. And let's see. We need to generate a lost soul. We got Storehouse, so we're gonna need to deal with that. Alright, yeah, let's play 3 woes as evil. Negate Storehouse. Then we'll...
I thought about putting down an evil character to get Unity back.
Oh, sure, yeah. Oh, actually, I forgot to do your Doom Canaanites, or, well, my Doom Canaanites now. I will discard my Behemoth. I think, yeah.
So you have a Proud out? Is that it? Where'd the Proud go?
I exchanged him last turn,
Oh, you exchanged them, yeah.
which I think The play here is to go with Noah, exchange the Doomed Canaanites with the Ham in my discard pile.
Nice. That shows back up in my territory.
What's that?
Yeah. Back.
Yeah.
Exchange.
And we'll ban to Shem and Japheth. And this time I actually get to look at the top 8. And which one do we want here? Guess we'll do this one. Yeah. Alright, and then Shem's wife triggers. You play an OT Lost Soul from your deck. And I come to find out you're just playing like NT Lost Souls only. Oh, yeah, this is lots of defense in this one.
Yeah. Hence the doubt.
Right. Alright.
Yeah, I went 56 defensive heavy just because it's fun.
Yeah. I feel like at that point you gotta go 57. Get that extra dominant.
Yeah, I had it right there, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So they all get kicked out. Do I want to put any of them into Noah's Ark? I think I'm gonna put Shem into Ark. Let the other guys get booted. And you've got the seized. But I think that's alright. We'll just try Shem's wife and try to bounce Goliath here. Yep. Targeting wife
Noah.
and Noah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, we'll yeah, we'll just use Faith Among Corruption. And I think, oh yeah, he gets bounced. Okay. Restrict dominance, negate heroes, toss all multiplier enhancements. So I guess I would bring Goliath back then, right?
Negate heroes? Yeah.
Alright. Then, in that case, that's not going to work. Alright, I guess we gotta go this way.
Technically a multi-brigade.
Well,
yeah, I know.
on the side. Just don't look at that part.
Okay.
The,
Alright.
okay. Let's play delivered. I think I want to just do this one actually. And I will reserve offering. Well, no, I guess I'll just play offering your son as well. And we'll grab endless treasures. Pop that down. So that goes in there. And then we're done.
Yeah. Top. What is that? How did I get back on there? No. Dude, that's negated, that's why. Down.
What's negated?
Storehouse is still negated.
Oh, right, yeah.
And, I'm just gonna do it this way.
I think you don't look at the top 3, right? You just underdeck.
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and then I'm sending them to the bottom. That goes to the top. I draw it.
I mean, like, you only reveal the top 1. So, like, we don't get to see what the other 2 are. Right?
So foretelling reveals top, right?
Yep.
At all times. And then eyes to see. Oh yeah. I was just my bad. I was saying I'm just gonna do it this way for simplicity's sake.
Oh, I see. Sure.
Whichever way is faster. I mean, so you're saying reveal top, and then just send the top 2 to the bottom, or every time?
I mean, yeah, or that's the way it technically works, but yeah, I suppose just for the sake of
Yeah, here this
ease.
is how I just run it on here.
Yeah, that's probably easier.
That's really only the card I was looking for. So let's just reveal top and leave it like that. That goes back to hand. Let's see. You still have a scattered.
So I guess just real quick for everyone who hasn't seen my Eyes to See video and don't know what Tyler was doing there, the interaction is Eyes to See, who can underdeck the top 3 cards of your deck if he's used by an OT Prophet, which he's just playing it on Daniel here. Then he can top deck it, and Joshua says if good card you own is top deck, you may draw 1. So he can just keep on playing Eyes to See as many times as he wants, while Foretelling Angel reveals his top card in between each one. So you can cycle through your whole deck. It's a whole thing. It's kind of fun. Makes a Daniel deck viable.
This deck is really fun to play, though.
Yeah.
And just in general. Let's see. So you still have Scattered. You still have that Lost Soul. And I can still be protected. Let's see what else you have. Yeah, I'll just push with that.
Alright. Alright, you ready for this? This is one of the things that I think came in the updated version of this deck that I really like. So Gomer will ban to Resin, who, let's see, the play is negated, but the ban is CBN, so we'll ban to Captain. We'll equip Chariots and Horses from Reserve to draw 2.
Little CBN capture.
Yep, and we'll play all the curses, capture them to you, and then draw 2 off of Captain of the Chariots.
Yep. I dubbed that the Southeast defense because it's played so much
That's
down
all
here.
you see.
Yeah. I mean, I was running it in Type 2 for a long time. Not Gomer, though. I was running Assyrians.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, it was Very good, because you get a Syrian affliction with confusion and belongs, disobedience, and unsuccessful and forgotten history.
Yep.
All right, these are lost
Okay.
souls. I got 5 in hand.
All right. Cool. Awake. Hmm. You do have an evil character down now, so I don't know if I want to use Awake here. Yeah, I don't think I do. So upkeep stuff, we'll put one on Shem. We'll keep Woes on Storehouse. We'll draw one from Book. Draw one from 7 Years. And... I think... Armor Bearer plus horses, huh? Yeah, I think we're just gonna go... I think we're gonna go solo Japheth. Look at my top 8. No, my last 5. And we'll take that one. That's what I get.
A draw first, play if I want, and then switch, right?
I think so. Yeah, because the exchange would bring a new character into battle.
Draw 2, no play. I'll exchange to deck.
So did you see the Philistine defense that Joe had going in Type 2? Where he used like the old armor bearer and the new armor bearer and like I think multiple copies of the old one to like I can't remember exactly what the interaction was, but basically it was just able to draw like a whole bunch of cards and then ban 2 old school staff and then play like unsuccessful off of a Philistine chariot and horses or something. It was like nice. And that was, I think, just from having like 1 armor bearer or maybe 2. I don't know. It was my like A and B reset video that he was
I
playing
watched a good bit of that one, actually.
Yeah, he didn't really get it off like during the game, so we just ended up like he told me about it afterwards, and so it was kind of
that's why
at the end. Yep.
Let's negate. I get to negate a good card. Negate.
Oh, you know what? Forgot about accusers. Your dudes are negated.
Where is it? Oh yeah, it's way down there. Then I would have gone straight to Feikle, and I wouldn't have brought in Abimelech. So it would have just been Feikle. So it would have been that. If blocking, you may negate a good card. Discard a good hand, so equip a weapon.
He's
Let's
negated too.
negate. He's negated. Oh,
Back
yeah,
users,
because
yeah.
he's not CBN. Yeah, he's not CBN. Okay.
So you've got 9/9.
Yeah, you're
Alright, let's just blow everything up again.
increase. Discard. Yeah, he was negated. That sucks. I mean, I'll make use it. I'll fall on away.
Alright, let's...
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just use the you'll remain.
Yeah, I couldn't negate it.
Nice. Yep, that's I'll do it.
I mean, pretty much will. Let's see if
Well,
I draw
yeah.
Lussel. Land of Redemption. 3-0, Lawless.
Nice, I
GG.
gotta get down to 8 cards here.
You're good.
We'll do that. We'll discard Moses and discard Amos. We'll put Offering Your Son in reserve. And we'll discard Falling Away.
So noted, this deck doesn't do too well on 56. It needs to be modified.
Yeah, we'll have to see the updated version here. And get stomped once by Flood for Jay's sake, and then we can see it again in a different game.
I love the defense. For type 1, this has to be like a 50 card off, like 50 cards in general. It's 56, heavier defense, just because I had a type 2 made for this.
Right.
So I just cut it down real quick, and within 7 minutes, cut it down and made something out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Mono Black is like one of the stronger defenses. I mean, if you're going like defense heavy, then that's, I think, the way to go.
I agree. I actually really like it.
I think
I don't think.
only thing that it might lack a bit is the speed. I think other defenses kind of give you more, like Lying Prophet, Damsel, False Peace, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you do lack speed, but you can get some setup stuff out,
Right.
which helps. But yeah, it's not overall speed. What I needed was these to come out for more negates, like actual like Abraham's Deceit, stuff like that. Even Joseph in Prison, I'm fine with. I just need like overall negates instead right now, because there was. I mean, if you don't get your Chariot out, you're not playing anything.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you know? There it is. But there's plenty of negates in black in general, to where you probably only need like just that. Take this out and throw in another negate if you're really going to play like a black defense. I mean, this doesn't even have. This was literally my type 2, so this doesn't even have Scattered Sheep or anything. You know,
Oh,
like this
sure.
is very raw.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and black has both Scattered Sheep and Abandonment, which is
Yeah,
decent.
and there's nothing. I play so much Type 2 that I forget exactly what you need in Type 1.
That's fine. That nobody really needs to know what to play in Type 1. Like it's not that fun
true.
of a category.
Yeah, it's funny because I'll play maybe 2 white balls. Like I'm more worried about killing them all in battle
Right. Yeah.
off certain things in Type 2. Although I don't like giving back my opponent their heroes so I either want to kill them all and then have 2 scattered sheeps
Right.
instead of abandonment. But yeah, this definitely. Yeah, I can modify this real quick afterwards. We can get another run in next week.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Just to see, because I agree with you. I think black is there.
Yeah.
Just this. I need to actually play a deck for people to like put time into an actual deck instead of just throwing something together. So our plan for this video, our plan was to do Love at First Sight in a counter deck. And John got pulled away, so I grabbed a Type 2 that was not refined. It was at like 96 cards, and just started -1, -1, -3, -2. And this was the product. So I still like it. I really like this Daniel offense in both formats, Type 1 and 2. You can definitely set it up to get eyes to see first turn, as people know.
Yep.
And you cycle your deck, you got everything. But I think a stronger defense is the play.
Yeah.
I don't think the Crimson's the play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think Crimson is okay. You just can't do like the straight up Daniel Crimson.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Crimson in Type 1 is fine.
Yeah.
Just because you're playing, just a couple of those interrupts. You're playing Pride, Seized. Pride you can get.
Right.
And
yeah, my Type 1 version, I went pretty much straight Daniel defense on, or like the Crimson Daniel stuff. So like I think the only non-Daniel cards I had on defense were Balaam's Prophecy to work with Joshua off of all the magicians, and then I did run a Bad Merchants, but that was more of like I want to show off the version of the deck that can deck out on turn 1 if you get the combo right away. So that was more of that. I think the competitive version of it, or like more competitive version of it, will have a stronger defense, because like pretty much all the games that I've played with it, like usually I win, but it's like 5-4.
That's what I was about to ask. Are you seeing a bunch of 5-4, 5-3s?
Oh yeah,
because you're decking out and you can't really block well with that defense.
Yep. Yeah, that was like the game that I recorded with John. That one was like, it was done in 3 turns. Like I had 3 turns, John had 2, because I went first, and we just both rescued each turn. So
now, are you seeing people block you much?
Not really, no. I mean, like, I think John, his deck had potential for blocks, because like he ran a relatively substantial defense in his throne deck, which was what he was playing, but he didn't have all that many evil enhancements. So like I was able to pick off a couple with Gabriel, like the key ones like Reap the Whirlwind, and I think that might have been the only one in that game. But like, as long as you can take that one out, then you're kind of like set to go.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, those are the ones that give, I think, the Daniel offense the most trouble. And the Wicked Lost Soul, obviously. One of the problems with my deck is I was running, well, I don't know if it's necessarily a problem, but it's kind of one thing you can go either way on, is I was running Chariot instead of Son of God, just because, if I'm going super fast, I can't necessarily expect my opponent to keep up, and Soul Gen is not like super readily available in Daniel. Like, I'm running Large Tree, Majestic Heavens, and Hopper and Reserve thing, but a lot of times with Majestic Heavens, I want to grab something that Joshua just top decks right away, like Noah's Ark, or like Oath of Purity sometimes. But yeah, that was being able to deal with the Wicked Lost Soul is kind of the main things. Like in that game, the very last turn, John had DOU, and if he would have been able to, or he could have played it, or he did play it, but I had Guardian. But he had a Wicked Lost Soul, and DOU was going through 4 layers of protection. So it was like Faith Unbowed, a Bendigo, or whichever the one, I think it's a Bendigo that protects Lost Souls, and then Servants by the River, and then his own Melchizedek.
Yep. So
Actually, I
Do
don't
you
even know if it
think?
was Wicked Lost Soul. I think it was his Gideon's Ephod, but yeah, he had both in the deck, which I think are, yeah, Gideon's Ephod definitely makes the Daniel deck harder to get rescues with, because I think Servants by the River is kind of the main thing in the band.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
But
Do you think that people are going to be playing that this year? Because I know that was a lot of it last year, but I don't. With all this talk about love at first sight, there's obviously the Daniel deck is out there, and there's a Throne deck,
mhm,
which goes back to the point Wicked goes against 2 out of 3 of those.
right,
When it matters so much about getting Lost Souls out right now, are people gonna play Wicked?
yeah, that's a good point. I feel like probably not. I think maybe Gideon's Ephod is the maybe we'll see that more because it doesn't take up a Lost Soul slot, which I guess are so much more important now.
Yeah.
Um,
I would
but
love to see like 20 to 30 just top players in Type 1 and really see what wins. Like really see what comes out on top of this meta
yep.
is because right now it feels like there's a big three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Daniel. I think it's Throne, and I think it's Love at First Sight.
You don't leave
I
out
think
post
Throne can be
exilic. That's in
solid.
there.
Hey, I love Post Exilic. I've always been a Posty fan.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever this set originally came out, we did the podcast. And I was saying I think Posty is just a little bit more advanced for people,
Yeah.
but I do think it's strong. I just think it's going to take a while for the community to catch on. And I think I'm going to bug John to just release that thing. I think I said that we're going to need to see like a skeleton version of that deck, or it's going to have to win something in order to get the community's attention.
Right.
So when you came up with the deck, the Posty deck in multiple versions, then people were like, "Oh wow, this is fast."
Yeah.
It's like, yes, it is. It's good.
Yeah, that's actually that's I think what disappointed me the most about Love at First Sight becoming a thing is that like I was really hoping that like Post Exilic would just be able to do really well, and I mean I still think it can, but Love at First Sight is it'll just make it more of a coin flip.
Yep. Here's a deck list I have written down.
Nice.
And at the very bottom, I have Jaden. This was from 2 weeks ago, and I put it out when we were playing tonight. It says Jaden, Posty/Babs or Love at First Sight. So like I just figured you're playing Posties and Babs in Type 2, and then I was like, well, he might be playing Bab or Love at First Sight, so I'm just gonna prep for both of them. I was hoping that Love wouldn't be a thing in Type 2, just so you could play Posty Babs and I could play what I want, because I wasn't going to play Throne this year, just so we can actually have a fun game that's not Love, but that's not Love. But I definitely want to see that combo try to pop off in Type 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean, you said you weren't going to play Love at First Sight in Type 2, and I'm kind of leaning that way too. And if I do play it in Type 2, it's not going to be the creation version. I think it would just be like mixed into a Post Exilic shell, which I think
so earlier before this video we were talking, and I said I had that in a Throne version.
Right.
To where, because I've been running Throne with a Meek Hero and Goshen, and then I can just play Awesome Ride in multiple ways off that deck to be really strong. So I was incorporating a few things to where Awesome Ride is always a hit. No matter what, I'm playing something. Even if they disrupt Throne, it doesn't matter. So I had Love at First Sight in there. Huh?
What Meek Hero did you get in battle?
Usually I'm running Hezekiah.
Running who?
Usually Hezekiah. I'll put him in as regular and I'll flip him.
Oh, right, yeah, because he converts after you, search for something. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have one other one.
Jotham,
Jotham or Asa I usually run. Or Asa. Asa is because, what is it? It's, which one? Josiah, I get a CBN, Josiah's Covenant. Amaziah isn't a flip meek. So it's sometimes Asa, mostly, it's probably Jotham. I'd have
Yeah,
to pull up my
because
list. I
he
haven't played
also
that one.
grabs Love at
You
First
can
Sight
break
from
some takes.
reserve.
Yep, it's Jotham. It's Jotham and Hezekiah, so I can push them in regularly and flip and do something.
Right. Yep.
Yep, and then that way I'm running Pig's Lost Soul anyway because all my heroes draw, and
Yep.
that was it. So, yeah, that version was very strong because you get, and you can run, you have Soldier's Prayer anyway, so you can just get out Love at First Sight again if you need it. The only thing is it's extremely difficult to play again off that
Right.
throne band. Really, you just want to get it once, and it doesn't matter. If you get that love off once with that throne band, you're at such an advantage. I mean, they can recover quickly, especially if it's mid-game, or I'll just say mid-game, like turn 4, and you have post-Exilix out, you're going to recover in a turn or two, but that's still, sometimes that's all you need.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think the combo it's obviously still viable in Type 2, but there's a lot more time to recover, I think, is the kind of what makes it not quite as powerful, but on the other hand, it's, I think, more easily repeatable in Type 2, so...
Especially with Genesis.
What's that?
Especially with Genesis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you can
Genesis... I mean, you have 4 copies of A Soldier's Prayer that can just grab Love at First Sight from discard pile. You've got the guys who can grab it from discard pile. Then you've got the 2 copies of Love at First Sight, obviously. So.
Yep, you can steal Soldier's Prayer off of Father Abraham or Jacob. I think just Father Abraham, and there's multiple others, but.
Yep, Abram's Army.
You can pull back Love, but you don't even need that, honestly. What I was running was both Jacobs, to where I just bounce. I come out with Jacob first, Jacob Hidden Treasures Creation.
Yep.
And then my second Jacob is for the subsequent Love at First Sight. So, and it bounces itself. So you just bounce and then you band, and then you have Jacob comes out and plays a Genesis enhancement. He plays Abe's Descendant, ban any number of Genesis. You push everyone in, and there's your creation all over again. So,
right.
Really good. Really good. But
I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen just the creation deck, like by itself, that deck is pretty sweet too. Joe Schaefer has kind of been all about that deck for a while now. So yeah, even without Love at First Sight, that's a viable deck, and so I think that's kind of what makes it kind of all the better, I guess, is if you can pull it off turn 1, and then you have all of these heroes. You're basically halfway through your deck, and your opponent has nothing. So.
And then it's Genesis, so it's constant pressure if you want.
Yeah.
And you can throw I Am Holy on Noah's Ark, the Ark of Salvation, so you don't need to waste up an artifact slot, and you can protect that. You can Book of the Covenant as well, so your I Am Holy is protected if you want it to be, and then you're just hitting them with, what is it, Simeon, and the other one, to where you're hitting your hand. I like recycling Evil Sacrifice, because if I'm running green or if I'm running Hidden Treasures, I can throw a Malachi in my reserve. I can just Malachi with another Minor Prophet.
Right. Yep. Just
With
first
Blue
sacrifice. Yep.
Over and over.
Or His Name is another one you could do that with.
Yep. Just withdraw and then reserve an evil card from their hand. So it's good. It's definitely good. Joe said he's probably a judge in Type 2 because he's got a pretty tough college class that he has to focus on. So he doesn't have too much time to so. But I know Emmanuel will be playing a really good Daniel deck. So.
Yeah, he's got the new combo too to work with. So.
Yep, and he's got that. So see how quickly he can get it out. And also, Matt Sinclair's back, and he's been running his Judge's Babs deck, which has only gotten stronger. And he beat Justin back in the day with that thing.
Yep.
And just get ready for Auto Gideon. Auto Gideon with Ehud's Dagger. Like, you have to. Yep. You got to prep for that. So I had a deck that I can't even play because it can't block that. I can't even. Matt would beat me. So.
That's why I got to check 2 decks. Just have a.
Yeah,
Just
I got
run gray
multiple. I'm
with
testing a lot.
the old Abimelech. Repels heroes with a judge's reference.
Yeah.
Just
Whatever repel means now.
gotta make him CBN somehow.
Yeah. So there's from. I mean, that's a type 2 perspective. So we'll get hopefully a good bit of variety there.
Yep.
And then type 1, we talked the meta last time, and we'll see what we just touched on a little bit. I think there's the big 3, but I definitely think there's a lot of solid decks. The more you play with Flood out here, the more people remember that, oh, hey, this thing took majority of top cut seeds that year. So that's still a solid deck. As you revamp the defense, because that offense, you can block the offense. You can't block it all game, though.
Right.
So you just need a defense that can hold off enough, and you incorporate it a little extra. I'm surprised Jay didn't have that, to be honest. His brother plays that so much, raising captain, that you would think that might be in there. I'm sure he has a good explanation that hey, I just didn't put that in there this time. But yeah, Flood, I always give Flood credit. I just don't say it's top tier.
Yeah. I mean, I've in the few games that I've played with it now, because I hadn't really touched it much until I was playing, or I played a game with Jay where I was using Flood and he was using Throne to kind of show me how it worked, I guess, or it's there were a few things where he was like, nope, you want to do it that way, and I was like, no, yeah, good to know. And that makes sense, and I had fun playing it. And I think it's a cool deck, and I kind of want to try it in Type 2 now, see if there's
it's so
there.
fun in Type 2.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
So
it's the most fun I have with Type 2 and Flood is picking the defense. Do you play Pale Green, or do you play Crimson, or do you just play Gold, and do you throw in Old Testament Joseph? You lose some unity, but you get Grain Tenders, which is such an underrated card because Joshua came out, but there's a lot of different builds there. I mean, you can run any defense. You can run Syrians. Assyrians with blue is so good.
Yep.
So there's a lot of good
builds. A few
builds.
Antediluvians, get some Flood stuff going.
Yep. You can do whatever you want.
You can do that in
that deck is
side
really
battle.
fun. Yep. It's an advanced deck. I let people know it's extremely difficult. I was running it at 100, and I've also ran it at 112. It's very difficult to trim. It's tough to actually find out what's the best because there's so much synergy. Like, do you play animals? Do you play Babs animals?
Yep.
I don't know what the best answer is, but it's definitely a good deck. Your brother whooped me with that deck on an online game years ago when Special Initiative came out. With ROJ, because I was running He Is Risen and then banding in Strong Angel.
Sure.
And I had barely even read up on Special Initiative, and I was plopped down He Is Risen and banded Strong Angel, and I was like, well, I mean, that takes care of a lot of things.
Yep.
And he was like, oh, Special Initiative. I was like, the heck is that? You're just making up rules to win. And then it was like a 2-hour game. I was like, all right, you win.
Yeah.
This isn't fun.
The problem that I've always thought that Flood would have in Type 2 was just if you're doing Flood Unity, you've got 8 heroes, and you don't really want to run multiple copies of them. I mean, maybe you run 2 of a few of them, but definitely 2 Noahs. But after a few, they just get clogged in your hand. You're probably not going to have most of them down. But I think there's so many ways to get to heroes now. Just coming with Noah in reserve, you probably have coming with Abraham, and then Angel of the Winds in reserve or something. I don't think that's necessarily a problem. But it just kind of felt like the offense was so much more fit for Type 1 that I didn't really even think it was all that good in Type 2. I mean, and I hadn't really seen anybody play it in Type 2, so.
I've played it in Type 2 at tournaments. I played against it, and I I love it. I make Flood once a year at some sort of variant, at least one variant of Flood once a year in Type 2.
Yep.
I love it in Type 2. I tell Jay all the time, I was like, I play Dove Return. It's a lot easier to play Dove Returns in battle. And next thing you know, I was like, when you're getting 2 Dove Returns back, that value is huge. You're popping 3 woes and forts and whatever.
Yep.
It's really good, but I don't do Unity. I've played it before, and it was the same problem. And I figured that would be the problem prior to.
Yeah.
There's just too much Genesis now. You have to justify Unity. Like, I have to have something amazing that I can keep doing for Unity. And I just, as good as the Rainbow is, I get 2 of them in Type 2, and I could easily recur them and top deck them and put them in my hand.
Yep.
You don't do it because if you play the recur guy, you lose. You lose that. You could play a old school Age Descendant, and there's easy ways in Genesis to get it back. The issue is you got 8 heroes to choose from.
Right.
And do you go with New Shem and Noah and get the protection bane and the prevent? Or do you just go other Genesis that gives you a lot of protection with Flood Survivors?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe there's, like, if you just have a few splashed in, and then other than that do Unity, then it'd be pretty easy to just play, I mean, so you have Oath of Purity that can bounce your, non-Flood Survivors, and then you can just play, like, one of the defenses that has a bounce evil enhancement, because
there's plenty of bounce all. I mean, Crimson has it,
Yep.
You can play Hypocrisy with...
Yeah,
so you can definitely bounce. I've done that before plenty of times to keep Unity on certain things. I don't like relying on that, but it's like a little gadget play.
Right.
Because it still works. Hypocrisy is still good. It's still CVP. Works in battle.
Yep.
So that's good. There's that deck in Type 2 is fun. It's really fun to play. It sets up so quick, and you're just rinse and repeat.
Right.
So it's a matter of, I think, picking the right synergy, and I personally think that deck at 100 is the best way to go because you get so much for so little. You get so much value for 100 cards.
Yep.
So I like that.
Yeah, the Faith Among Corruption is super good. You get 4 copies of that.
And you're just pulling everything back. Yeah. I've messed around a lot with dual colors on both sides to have 4 to 6 territory class negates.
Sure.
Susceptible to Chronicles of the King, but I mean, you're not having 6 down at all times.
Right.
You have 1 here and 1 on good, 1 on evil at all times. So messed around with that. You lose shield Unity, so you lose a big add to battle. So you got to kind of play around that if you can. There's defenses to play to where you get brown gray to where you can keep Unity and play multiple, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Brown Gray gets you to, like 4 of them? Something like that? Like Speak Favorably, Gain Speech, and Kinsman Agreement.
Yep.
So I guess it's
then you get and then if you play Daniel offense, that's literally what this original Daniel offense, I have a version of that right now with that right there.
Nice.
Green, white. So, play all those.
God's Mercy, Jonah's Anger, too. Yeah.
Because the original one, I had 14 Daniel Lost Souls with the Kings of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing Meek Soul defense. You just have to get that Eyes to See out because it's so slow.
Yeah.
Now when you get that going, that you're very confident saying you're not losing because you have so much add to battle between Gates of Jerusalem, 6 Bull, Sheol with Brown, and then so many territory class negates, and then you have a Daniel offense. It's such a good deck. You're very reliant on Jeshua Eyes to See. It was one of my options for Nationals, but I don't like relying on something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, I like the combo of like Sheol and High Places. So I have yet to try out the Meek Soul defense in Type 2, or like the Kings of Judah in Type 2, but I think I had fun with it in Type 1. I don't know if it's like, I think maybe like the Daniel offense is maybe the way to go though for that. It's something that can once you get it set up, then you're just cruising.
Yeah, the Daniel offense with Meek Souls, because I got in touch with Chris Fashman and I got in touch with Derek Dorado. I was like, hey, I can't afford 14 Daniel Souls. I was like, but this deck is really good.
Yep.
I mean, it's very, very strong. It blocks all day. I don't build it to where you rely too much on protecting Lost Souls. I don't think that's the best thing to do right now.
Yep.
But it has a few. It's got a lot of built-in chumps on evil characters that you don't have to do. But a lot of the strength, because you don't care about Joshua the Conqueror, because a lot of the strength comes from activating Golden Calf, Ashira Pull, Household Idols from everywhere. Discard pile, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Deck. So a lot of the strength comes from those idols. I love Golden Calf. I get Golden Calf out early. It's a counter deck.
Yep.
I get Jeshua out. If you can get Jeshua Eyes to See.
And you get King Amon too. It's pretty sweet.
Yep.
All the curses.
Amon, Maka, Raybone. That's really, really good evil characters to have.
Yeah. And
you said you played with it in Type 1?
Yeah. I did Kings of Judah and then Priests on offense to just make like the Solomon's Temple thing work.
So you didn't run double Kings of Judah with some teal?
I think I just went teal Unity because I was going like the Covenant or New Covenant stuff with like I had some of the like Jeremiah and Zechariah, I think maybe, but otherwise
so I still think teal Unity is very good.
Yeah.
I put it right below Posty because it doesn't have the speed.
Right.
But it's very tough to defend against. I mean, I got whooped at regionals. One of our guys has. My biggest thing with teal is how do you get around? Like, it's just single heroes. So if you can combine a couple of them, how do you do that? And how do you do it consistently? And then what heroes do you combine?
Right.
So he found a way to do it, and it's very good. It would be a very good type. I told him, I was like, that'd be a very good type 2. He's like, are you trying to convert me? It's like, I'm trying to convert everyone. That team's way more fun. It just is.
I mean,
you can play so much more.
I think any mono teal in deck is going to be better in Type 2 because you get Captive Priests than Valley or the Valley combo. It's like
whenever you want,
easy to pull off. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's 6 cards.
Yep.
to get out everything and you're good to go. So yeah, it's worth a splash and everything. I've played Kings of Judah deck in general in Type 2. Loved it. It was another options for nationals. It was so slow.
Yeah.
I played a Throne version, like a Throne Kings of Judah, like old Throne, focusing on a little like this similar Throne band, but more Kings of Judah to where I could always add to battle.
Mm-hmm.
It was very good. Kings of Judah in general, just you have so much add to battle.
Yeah.
It's there if you want.
With gates and everything.
I mean, Faith of David, you will remain. Obviously you remain. You can use on everything, but you got Sheol, Gates of Jerusalem for both. And then your Faith is 6 Bull, Faith, you will remain. There's other ones out there as well. You don't need it at that point. It's really too much. I mean, you can play Matt's Begats. Just throw that on people if you want. So it's a lot, but then you have insteads. You got your Solomon's Temple to just instead everything.
Yep. So
you just throw in. You already have teal because of Throne. It's a difficult build. You got to sacrifice a few more popular used cards that I like. I like the Interrupt Battle Winners. And you sometimes have abilities. Yep. So I don't know. I'm hoping that there's a lot of good options out there. I hope people don't get distraught over love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the end of the world. So
one last thing on Kings of Judah though before we gonna wrap things up here. Have you tested it much like the old Gates of Jerusalem with the defense? Because that's the one that I was using when I had it, just because I feel like the CBN stuff or part is like super good.
It's really good. The issue is I felt like the CBN stuff I wanted was already CBP or CBN, or it was reliant on protecting lost souls. So now there are really strong characters that you want CBN,
Right.
but so which ones? So I'm gonna look.
So we've got like is Jehoiachin. He's a good one, or he just protects all meek lost souls from rescue. So making that CBN is good since he's 1/8. You can't just really jump too easily.
Yeah, Ahaz CBP, Ahaziah CBN. You get Amon, but you're not blocking with him anyway.
Right.
The other one draws. I don't care about that. You get Jehoiachin, which is CBP.
And then Manasseh in Type 2, like getting him CBP.
Manasseh in Type 2 is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Discard a brown card. Another guy discarded Jehoram, discard a brown card for him to do underdeck and meet soul. My only thing is, my only point was, yes, they're CBN, but you're getting CBN auto blocks, but they're reliant on non-protection of lost souls.
Right.
That's the only thing that I thought I'd rather, because so many are CBN CBP. You're right about Manasseh, but so many are already CBN CBP. And I mean, it's nice to just have a D1 off of them too. You block, you get a D1. I just add to battle on defense is even better in my opinion than add to battle on offense, just to get that extra throw in.
Right.
Just so many are already. Yeah, I'd rather have my guys that are already CBP mostly, and get the add to battle on, and then I was playing it on offense though. So that's probably why our opinions differ, because I was utilizing that card on offense and defense, and not just defense. I was using the other one. It's like, well, if I'm going to use this and get Kings of Judah add to battle for Meek as well, just run it on both.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And in Type 2, you can run one of each and just kind of read the game and see which one you want out at the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can definitely run both.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I got. I do think LOC is a much better set than. I mean, I think people give it credit, but I think some people, it's just Jehoshaphat, David's Outcast, Solomon's Dream. Some people complaining about those. I mean, I'm not going to say they're strong cards.
Yeah.
I think they
Joshua.
In last year's. Sorry, Brian. I think last year's meta was not reflective of this year's, and it always takes a year for things to get going because it's a smaller community, and last year was all COVID.
Yep.
So this year, ideas are out there. Tournaments are going. So
yep.
The meta's open. We'll see. It's not as crazy. I mean, if anyone wants to say it's not open, it's all love at first sight. Well, last year Throne took first, second, third. So
yeah,
I think it's more open this year than it was last year.
Yeah, I guess I would argue that the difference there is that Throne, if it goes off, you actually still get to play a game, so it's a little more exciting. But yeah,
your argument's right. I can't say anything against it. I'm just, at least there's other decks.
Yep.
Does Throne win against Love at First Sight? I don't know. We'll see. This is very similar to the Coney year when Children of Light was out, and the deck was even posted. Said, hey, this is what I'm playing. This is what won. So We'll see. Now, I will say the community has banded together and been like, we're not gonna take it. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah, that
I don't know.
I mean, I think if we just have enough people who decide not to play it, then maybe it'll win. It would probably win. Maybe you just gotta have some counters in there. So go watch the counters video that was posted probably last week at this point. But if enough people just decide not to play it, then the majority of your games are gonna be fun games, and the ones against Love at First Sight maybe just be coin flips. So got that going for you.
Yep.
Or you can just play Type 2 and all your games will be fun.
Exactly. Go to Type 2 all day.
Yep.
I've the only one person that was like, I don't have fun in Type 2. I have talked to, and they still, I mean, they still had fun time while playing, but just overall, it was a bit much.
Yeah.
But every single person I've ever talked to, when they finally sit down and play it, they were like, I at least felt like I had a chance, or I at least had fun playing.
Yep.
And it's not expensive like it used to be. It's not.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Yep. I think at some point we'll have to maybe have like more simple like Type 2 game. I mean, the ones that I've had on the channel so far were kind of like, you know, the A and B reset. I did have my post-exilic Greek deck on here, which was kind of a normal one, but I think having like two, you know, just kind of like average Type 2 decks and getting a game in would probably be helpful for people to kind of recognize, okay, like, you know, this isn't so bad. Like, I think it can be pretty daunting if you're going into it just seeing like all of the, you know, kind of craziness you can do. You gotta kind of, you know, work your way up to that. So
yeah, I mean, I agree, especially with this version that I just ripped from my Type 2. I mean, I'm going Love Righteousness, Daniel's Prayers, Angelic Guidance, and I'm plopping down all my heroes, and you have to stop a Daniel band. And if you're new to Type 2 and you're not a top player, you're not stopping a Daniel band.
Right.
And it's like, how did you just do that first turn? So I think if you and I and whoever else, if we're just like, hey, let's do contender decks.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, grab a contender deck, double up on it, and don't edit it.
Yep.
Literally double up on a contender deck.
Yep.
Don't even do 15 cards reserve. If it's 5 cards reserve, you double down. Make sure it's even. You know, by all means, make sure it's even.
Yeah. We want to play legal decks.
Yeah, we're gonna play legal decks in Type 2, but we'll make sure it's even, and we'll do the contender decks, and then we'll say, hey, this is what we have. We each got to pick, and
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I actually did that with the red black contender deck. I made a video of kind of like okay, here's how you get started with Type 2. You can just take any Type 1 deck and then, you know, double up on some things, and then, yeah, that's where you go. So yeah, we'll definitely have to get a game in with some of those decks, I think.
Yeah, I'm good with that. We can do it leading up. We got like a month till Nat, so we can squeeze a Type 2 game in. We don't want to be known as Type 1 players, so
yeah. I play a lot of Type 1 these days, and it's getting kind of old. I haven't built a Type 2 deck in a while, I feel like, because I've just been, you know, building decks for Derek.
Well, all I build is Type 2, and then I play with you.
What's that?
All I do is build Type 2s, and then I play with you, and I got nothing good to play, so I'll actually focus on, I'll fix this one up. Not the offense. This offense isn't fun to play on Lackey, just eyes to see.
Yeah.
So I'll at least do a good, strong Philistine defense with something else. And then we can do a double up contender, and go from there.
Sweet. All right, well, that's where we're going to wrap it up for tonight, guys. Thank you so much, Tyler, for joining me for this game, letting me flood you a little bit, get you a little wet. And,
I'm sure Jay loved it.
Yep, and thanks to everyone who stuck around to the end, listened to all of our thoughts about the meta and just kind of the, you know, love at first sight a little bit, which you probably got an earful of that from last video, but it'll still be interesting to see where things go, and I hope you guys, you know, I hope the channel has kind of helped you figure out how you can, you know, process this weird combo that we'll see if it sticks around or not, but all right, that's gonna be it.
Thanks, Jaden.
Catch you all later.